All right. Hello, everyone. This is the last panel of the day. We'll try to make it engaging, exciting. And we are going to talk about the modular AGI stack. So just to give some context, in order to build decentralized system and decentralized AI system, we need to decentralize each layer of the stack of this system. So if we have a bottleneck or point of centralization on compute layer or data layer or monetization layer, that creates problems and risks for the whole decentralized AI or in the future AGI vision. And today on this panel, we will discuss what is missing, what are risks and opportunities of building that. But I want to start and ask you guys to give quick introductions about yourself and project that you're working on.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Shu. I'm from Mizu. I'm founder of Mizu. And I think, yeah, I just did the demo before like 30 minutes ago. So I think still people remember me. I don't want to waste too much time.
Hi, I'm Shashank, founder of Fraction AI. We create high-quality labeled data sets for fine-tuning AI models.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nick, and I'm building Assisterr AI, which is a network of specialized small language models owned by community. We have all the pipeline from creation of the model, monetization of the model, and tokenization of the model if you want to get exposure to community and you want to get more people who are going to be building collaboratively models or agents with you.
Great, thank you. And by the way, my name is Stepan. I'm from Cyberfund. We are investing in AI and crypto. But I want to start with one question that I think I'm getting probably the most popular question about decentralized AI and potential risks of that or problems. How do you think about reliability and quality? I think a lot of companies, a lot of businesses, a lot of users prefer and choose like hyperscalers or centralized solutions because you can get SLA and you can get reliability when you train model, launch model, maybe like scale AI for data or some services for fine tuning. So how can we guarantee or how can we increase and maximize reliability and efficiency of decentralized AI solution for each layer of the stack that you guys are working on? And can it match the current centralized alternatives?
Yeah, sure. So for this question, I think there is about two aspects of the reliability. The first one is if the result is accurate, is correct. The second one is if the service itself is reliable, which means service availability. Okay. So for the correctness, I think now we have pretty mature solution out there already. For example, for DeepIn, you have validated service. The validated service can just jump in and to inspect the result of the submitted by this kind of nodes from this decentralized network and ensure the correctness of the result. I think the service availability is a little bit tricky. So I think it needs incentive to engage people to really be online, and you need real demand who can pump this kind of value into the network to ensure everyone has incentive to be online and to keep you there to serve this kind of requests. And you have to have mechanism to ensure that this kind of service, if they're offline, they will lose money. If they're kept online, they got rewards. Basically, you have to really use the tokenization mechanism to incentivize people to be more. So it's more like a positive feedback loop. Yeah. So look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin early stage, very few people mining Bitcoin, right? But today, there's very professional mining farms across the world. They're online. And if you force them to be offline, they always hate you because they know if they're online, they make money. So I think incentivization will solve the problem in some aspect. Yeah.
So it's economic incentives,
yes,
primarily.
Yes.
Great. Do you have anything there?
Yeah, sure. So we work with labeled data. So I'll talk about the data layer. So it's about the quality. AI follows this principle called GIGO, which is garbage in, garbage out. And if the quality of data is not good, what you will get with your model is also going to be garbage. So in our case, we ensure that data quality is the best. But we also need to ensure that the data we are providing adds to the current AI's knowledge. So for example, I give you a picture to count the number of people that are sitting here. Some AIs can do it, some AIs cannot. And if we need to improve an AI model, we need to incentivize people to ask difficult questions that actually adds to an AI's knowledge. And we do that through an approach called GAP, which is gamified adversarial prompting. So users are financially incentivized to ask difficult questions, which makes the AI answer incorrectly. So that way we are able to identify where are the gaps in AI's knowledge, and we just target those, instead of giving it some knowledge which it already knows. So yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah, I think I agree with guys that it could be an option. To economical layer, I would add that there is like amazing thing developed by Eigenlayer and similar projects with, like where you have economical incentive, where you can slash any service provider, any platform, any creator, any team behind the model or behind the agent, in case if they provide low quality service, or maybe if they just fail to provide it on a regular basis, on a basis that was expected and defined as a high quality. Besides this, I think we also need benchmarking system, which should be somehow standardized for the market. It's still not there. I think that like in terms of the models, we have already some benchmarks, but for open source models, we're not there. And also benchmarks for the agents, it's not there as well. Maybe over the next 1 or 2 years, we're going to have like much better benchmarking system. And if you will see that this model or agent just significantly below, people would not just choose this model to work with or agent to work with. And besides that, we move into orchestration period where going to be a lot of frameworks, a lot of protocols who are going to be orchestrate different models and agents. So if we're talking about orchestrations, this benchmarking going to be even more important, because in that way, automatically, you can just avoid usage of the models or agents that are super below the average based on the feedback, based on technical abilities, based on other things that relied there.
So I have a question regarding that. So which kind of benchmarks do you think not exist right now? Because the kind of benchmarks I have seen measures AI performance on some specific tasks, like visual question answering or like writing codes, writing something. So which ones do you think we lack and we should be working together?
So if we're talking about agents, most likely you don't have any benchmarks that showing that this agent never lost money or never racked the person. And I think that's with financialization of agents and models, we are stepping into the period when I'm going to need to trust my money, my wallet, to this agent to operate on my behalf. And we don't have any benchmarks in that direction, which is probably one of the most excited use cases specifically for crypto community, who wants agents to speculate, to trade, to swap tokens and do other things. Of course, like on a model side, you have different benchmarks, but again, on a model side, you have benchmarks around like communication with agents, summarization, some math problem solving. But while there is much more than this, like the model and agents, they can perform tasks, and we don't have any benchmarks of performing tasks outside of this like a very limited scope.
Sure.
Yeah, so maybe double down a little bit on this topic of incentivization and usage of tokens and economic parts, because I think that was basically all three of your answers. What do you think, like, is it the only use case of token incentives in the decentralized AI, or is it the primary one? Because in DeFi, for example, we see a lot of different, like, because DeFi is composable and because it's so expressive, you can build very complex token programs. We see like interesting like staking contracts or restaking or different vaults and so on. What do you think are other use cases for tokenization in decentralized AI, or is it just efficient, basically security?
I think when you say like security, actually, it's kind of like opposite of utility, right? Like I think token in decentralized AI, they also can have utility. So I will give you one example. Is like what Mizu is building. Okay, Mizu is like kind of like leveraging these laptops and mobile devices to help us to process the data. And they're actually mining the points and tokens by help us to process the data. This is actually kind of utility because eventually you want to use a platform to do query and to do this kind of data search, you will have to use Mizu tokens. So you got supply, you got the demand as well, and we want to see a balance between this demand and supply. So that's actually utility. And I know like some of these kind of tokens are used for governance only, and that sounds like more like security. But I think especially when it comes to deeping and you want to accumulate resources and incentivize people to contribute their resources, and for a bigger goal, this actually can, if you can hook up this kind of underlying network with some upper layer applications, it can have utility. And this is actually, because you mentioned DeFi is composable, I feel like in AI, it can also be composable because now everyone is talking about modular AI, right? Underlying you have data, in the middle you have this kind of compute, and top of them you have model, and upper layer you have applications. They all have different tokens. But if you have this kind of a way to integrate these kind of tokens together, and so the value propagation from top, from application to the data will be more streamlined, you see the utilities there. But the utility could be hooked up with some other tokens, not like consumer facing directly.
I believe the best use case is incentivization and coordination, because adding blockchain or adding Web3 to any project has some downsides. It causes some inefficiencies. And in the current times when there's an AI warfare, where everyone is working towards building the best AI models, best AI agents, if something slows you down, you should really think hard about it, whether it's really, really important for you right now in terms of performance. But yeah, Web3 adds a lot of value in creating a good financial model, which anyone from around the world can join and get rewards for participating. So I believe that's the best use case. There can be others, but yeah, I think that's the best.
Yeah, I think what I can add is that I see a lot of utility, and also basically utility of the token comes to the places coordination layer on different platforms, where you can use the token to focus and direct attention of the community, of the audience, of the users, to the product elements or part of the user flow, which is like most important in this moment of time. So in our case, we have right now 500,000 registered users, and we clearly understand that a lot of them definitely expect to have some exposure into our token as soon as it will be live, but also we understand that it's ability for us statistically to educate these people, to direct them to do some things like launch agents, launch model, contribute data, verify the quality of the data, and do a lot of other things. And if we will succeed with this, we have ability to onboard many, many users and learn and educate them how to earn money with us, how to create models, how to embed these models to their workflows in a way that it will be very organical and natural for them. And even if they don't understand how to do and what to do right now, we still can push them further. We have the same situation with socials. We have the same situation with mobile application. We have the same, if you think about any innovation, like Apple spends probably billions to implement this Apple Pay functionality all over the world. So we just like by incentivizing people, we also educate them how to use different product things. And that's a big instrument that we have on crypto AI scene, because regular crypto AI companies, they cannot do it. And there is like totally different flow. And we can be more flexible by using this instrument.
Cool. I also have a little bit of speculative or not very straightforward question, but right now, most of AI market, so here we are at OpenAGI Summit, we're discussing decentralized AI, but still most of the world and most people and businesses who use AI, they pay to OpenAI or Google or Amazon or one of these large companies. And those companies are pretty centralized, and they tend to have like vertical integration. So OpenAI is going to hardware, Google has its own chips and doing its own products and has its own distribution. And basically, decentralization is not given. It's not like right now, it's not the main thing that happened on the market. So my question to you is, what are the risks? Like, what should happen in order to decentralized approach or distributed approach or composable and permissionless approach to win over this hyperscaler, centralized, overcapitalized, like very vertically integrated approach?
Okay, so yeah, this is a harsh question, to be honest, because but like I'd like to emphasize that decentralized AI is still like relatively new topic. It gets started like being hot about this April, and it's like half a year, right? And when actually I still remember like when this kind of layer 2 concept comes out in 2019, 2018. It took like the whole community 2 to 3 years to build something really useful and coming out. And until like not until like after 2021, it got this optimism, all this kind of infra out, because infrastructure takes time. It takes 2 to 3 years to build and really like be productive and for people to use. That's one thing. And second is like you mentioned, I think the ultimate question is what kind of the value decentralization AI is really bringing into the community, right? And I see two values here. The first one is basically the cost. So I think it really can bring down the cost of this kind of, in some perspective, and break the barrier to incentivize people to contribute their own thing. So now, like, majority of the resources are actually monopolized by big tech companies. And yes, I think the situation is that you have to rely on them because you don't have other choices. For example, like foundation models, you only have like Meta, and they have Google, you have OpenAI, and that's it, right? But it's actually also depends on the stage. So foundation models for me is like operating systems. You have Windows, you have macOS, you have Linux, and you have iOS and Android for mobile devices, and that's it. You don't need more operating systems coming out, right? A foundation model is like same thing. In the future, all the applications are built on top of foundation models. Now the operating system is already finalized. We may need another Linux, but like we don't need more foundation models coming out. They're already smart enough for these kind of big tech companies, okay? But like later, once you have like a vertical area of applications, things will be different because we're more diverse. You will need more people, more developers to really join the community. And I think that's where decentralization AI will really like, you know, be a thing. Yeah, because just see today, it's like you don't have a lot of AI applications out there. People are complaining that AI is there is a movement called AI movement, but whereas AI are being used in my daily life, right? People see like very, very few applications because the innovations actually are kind of like prohibited by these kind of big tech companies. Yeah.
So I believe it all comes down to quality, because finally winning in this is all about winning people, and people only care about what the AI can do for them. So a way of doing this would be like start with foundation models. They are like OSs, and solve for specific narrow use cases and do it better than what the centralized companies can, and incentivize people who are participating in solving these use cases. So one of the ways this can be done is by private data, because it is difficult and like there are legal issues of dealing with private data, but it can be done using blockchain in a way that people still own on the responsibility of their private data, but the model can make use of it. And do it for like really targeted applications, give people better products than what OpenAI or Google can, and then you have a use case with them. So I believe decentralization itself cannot be a selling point. Using decentralization, we should be able to create better models, which should not be possible otherwise. And we have done that internally using our gamified adversarial prompting approach, and we showed that it is possible to create such models.
I would say that we had this talk like a couple of days ago. So I was talking about the problems and ability, like what is intelligence? It's like ability to compress, denoise all the signals that some intelligent entity can capture, can analyze. But then the output of this intelligent process is all the time ability to perform something or solve some issues, some challenges. And in terms of the solving challenges, we have so many problems around. We have so many, like, if not only problems from problems perspective, but like we have so many things that could be done in a better way. And that's where I see a lot of opportunity for everyone actually to tune and improve the processes to solve the problem. And that's where we can build different agents, different models that are highly customizable and highly specialized to perform well for specific use cases. And that's where, like, we kind of bias because we already believe that, you know, like some people, when you're talking, like, who invents the AI and like Sam Altman, you know, like, it's not true. It's like, it doesn't mean that OpenAI, like, is the biggest player right now. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. They're going to keep the position for another 10, 25, whatever years. And that's also just one spectrum of what we have right now. We have, of course, like centralized AI, which is well-funded, well-established. But we also have a lot of other approaches, like still agentic approach or small language model approach. At some point of time, they can overcome these like centralized big AGI directions that like LLMs going on. And it could be done that we're going to have army or like just a network of different models or agents that can be coordinated, and collectively they can overperform any large language model in their capacity to perform tasks, solve problems, and so on. So I don't think that we need decentralization from the perspective, like crypto perspective, however everyone is thinking about decentralization. But I definitely think that decentralization in terms of the ownership over different models and agents, it's something that would be beneficial for all society and everyone.
I'd like to share a little like a story about like how decentralization is actually affecting like mainstream AI people. Okay. So I have a friend, actually. I worked in Meta before, and I have a lot of friends working in Meta and working on AI stuff. And they were like just quit Meta and doing AI stuff, like pure Web2 AI stuff. And they did it for a year. And then like this year, I saw like their DAC in Web3 space. They're like looking for money in this space. Because there's actually really few opportunity in Web2 space because it's so multiplied by these kind of big tech companies. Every time you build a vertical use case, soon like, you know, foundation model integrate this kind of capability, and then they lost the market. And then like they're looking for some other opportunities in other areas. Then I see the trade that a lot of like Web2 AI people are actually looking for opportunities in Web3 in the past like 6 months. So that's why I see like it's actually because these kind of big tech giants are monopoly the market, it's actually starting to hurt the market somehow and trying to push in these kind of talents into this Web3 space because people see a different opportunity and see different vision here. I think that's really important.
Yeah, that seems true because of the openness of nature of this. Like all these big companies are very closed, and they there's very rigorous process of how they release the models, and like legal at Google probably has more influence over how the model end up being rather than engineering. You basically say that we're very early, and there's room. Then we also need to build like just better products, and agentic systems might be a big part of that. And my last question is, what do you think is the top priority in terms of focus? Okay, so we're early, we need better products, we believe in agents and models and smaller models, but what is the top priority to enable decentralized AI stack? We don't have a lot of time, but if you have like a specific idea and you can explain why, super curious.
I can start. So from my side, I think the top priority is to give right instruments, right tools, to think about agents and models, not in a context of deep tech, you know, like how deep and well is designed, but from the perspective like how well I can establish feedback loop between end user and a team who is building this agent or model. Because that's the only way to actually iterate it in some meaningful way, instead of just like running for stupid numbers, which doesn't make sense in many cases.
I can go next. So I would say make it super easy for people to contribute in the creation of AI and incentivize them for it. Tokenize the value so they are incentivized. It's super easy for them to contribute and just create good models.
Actually, I see a similar pattern between crypto and AI in today's trade. Is actually AI is lack of AI applications. crypto is also a lack of applications, so people are building infra like crazily, right? But I feel like when combine crypto and AI, it's possible that we can bring more applications into AI space by using the incentivization part of crypto. So you're using the infra part of crypto to boost the AI application side, and that I think may make things different. Yeah.
Amazing. So our time is up. Thank you so much. I think it's there's a lot of actionable things to do. So we are definitely early. Definitely next year, decentralized AI infrastructure and applications will be evolving. And yeah, thank you for participating.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.